Hello, and today we're going to be testing the Maxtracker OTM900 by Orbital Tracker on the dish 1000.4 Western Arc. That dish looks at the 110, 119, and 129 satellites. It's their Dish Network's bread and butter satellite dish for high definition. As you can see here, I am using a power passing splitter. It could be any power passing splitter. It could be, as long as it's from 2 to 2300 megahertz and one port is power passing. This should be connected to a satellite receiver or a 12-volt power supply. The battery on the Maxtracker is not enough to power the Dish 1000.4 LMB or the 1000.2. Any multi-sat satellite dish, you should always use a power passing splitter. That way you don't eat up your batteries on your meter. So what I'm going to do now is basically search for the 119 satellite file. And if you look at the LMB, you can see that there's three LMBs. The one to the far left is the 129, the one in the middle is the 119, and the one on the far right is the 110. And that particular LMB's got four outputs on it. And each output corresponds to each different LMB. Since we don't have a dissect controller, we're actually going to plug it into each individual port to align the dish. You really only need to align is the two satellites out of the three. You don't need to do all three of them. 2 out of the 3 is plenty. The rest of the other one will fall into place once you get the 3 in there. So what I'm going to do now is begin my search. You can see there the unit is on search screen. I have my power passing splitter that comes with the unit connected. I have a 12-volt power little battery pack in the back that's powering the LMB. Begin my search by first I'm going to turn on the alarm so you can see what it sounds like, hear it. And that's more or less the proximity alarm. And that tells you as you're getting closer, the beeps will start to get louder and it'll actually get more intense. So I'm going to start slowly pushing the dish over. You see there? It says found 119 Dish Network 1000.4 on the top. I'm going to take it off alignment. You can see how sensitive it is. I'm barely touching this thing. See there at 16%. So as you kind of push the dish over, you got it to lock into the 119. You see that you're 100%. And the way you know you're on the right satellite is because in this particular LMB, the 119 port is port number 1. So what you want to do is simply, if you cover the LMB, if you see there with your hand, I'm covering the 119, you can see that the signal just went away. And you'll see there, I'll take my hand out. Actually, I gotta get away from the dish. You see there. You see I'm covering the 119. Taking my hand out. Exactly. If you see I covered the 110, it doesn't interfere with it at all. My hand's a little in the way there, but you see there the 129 is covered and it doesn't really do anything to it. So that's how you know, just to be sure that you're on the right bird. So there you go, the 119 is locked. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect it. And once you have one of the ports hooked up to a receiver, you don't have to use this power supply, this power passing splitter. All you really need to do is hook up the receiver to the LMB. That'll power the LMB on. So since we're outside, we're kind of have to get creative on how we're going to power it. What I like to do in this particular dish is to hook it up to the 129 port, which is the third port from left to right. I like to hook up the receiver to that, or my power supply to that, and basically search for the 110 and the 119 signals. So what I'm going to do now is do the 110. You see where it says Dish Network 1000 West 1000.4 110. I'm going to hook up the 110 LMB. You see there, start searching. So what I'm going to do is just slightly turn the dish. You see where it is. It should be right over here. There you go. And that's what you want. You see I kind of moved the dish a little too more the first time. But that's what you want. You want to be able to get 100% quality bars, which is the bottom bar on the 110 and the 119. Actually, you can scroll over to the 119, see how it's doing. You can see there that I have to fine-tune the skew of the dish. This is just kind of like a test. But you see the 119, you would have to actually unplug it. That's why there's nothing on the 119. But what you would want to do is unplug it, hook it up to the 119 port, which is a separate cable. Let me move that dish back over here where it was. That's what you want. So you will have to unplug the cable and go to the port for 110 and go to the port for 119. And you know, the way you know that you're on 119 is simply cover the LMB. See that? See how responsive that is? And what I'll do here is disconnect it. I'll plug in the 110. Find the dish, I have to skew it a little bit here. I'm actually in the way a little bit. There you go. See the 110? And what you do is, you just to make sure, you put your hand right over the LMB. You see there, it's the 110. See that? And that's how you know for sure if you're on the right satellite. These Dish Network LMBs are complicated. Each LMB output signifies a different satellite, so you just need to know, or what I did here is I actually wrote them on the actual bracket. What is what? If you're an installer, all you would have to do is carry one of these with your truck, already marked, already with the lead cables already on there, and pretty much go. Find two of the birds. Once you find two, you peek them out as best you can. Tighten the bolts and you're done. If you're an RVer, same thing. You would plug in the receiver to the third port, and you would find the 110 and the 119. You go to the MaxPeak website. You could download the files directly to the meter. For any satellite, any international satellite, any FTA satellite. Let me turn that alarm off for a second. Any international satellite does most of DirecTV. The DirecTV, the bigger dishes that have multi-sets, you will have to use a power passing splitter. Very easy meter to use. It's DVB-S2 compliant, which is huge because eventually most satellite companies will go over to DVB-S2. So it's a future-proof meter. It's not going to stop working when that change happens. So this video is going to get you familiar with the Orbital Tracker Maxtracker OTM900. I hope it helps.